डेटा साइंस 21वीं सदी का एक नया विषय। हर कोई इस विषय के बारे में जानना चाहता है। हर कोई इस विषय में अपना करियर कैसे बना सकता है, इसके बारे में जानना चाहता है। हर कोई इस विषय के बारे में इतने उत्सुक है, जिसकी वजह से हमने पिछले एपिसोड में डॉक्टर रमेश राजगोपालन के साथ करियर्स इन डेटा साइंस के बारे में बहुत गहराई से बातचीत की थी। आज उसी कड़ी में और एक हम एपिसोड लेकर आ रहे हैं, जिसमें फिर से एक बार हमारे साथ आज जुड़ेंगे डॉक्टर रमेश राजगोपालन और मुरलीधर राव। और इनके साथ न सिर्फ हम करियर्स इन डेटा साइंस के बारे में जानेंगे, बल्कि इसके लिए किस तरह के प्रोग्राम्स कौन सी यूनिवर्सिटी में अवेलेबल है, उसकी एलिजिबिलिटी क्या है, उसमें अगर एडमिशन लेना है तो क्या करना पड़ेगा, ये सभी विषयों को हम बारीकाई से जानने की कोशिश करेंगे। तो आइए और मेरे साथ जुड़िए रमेश राजगोपालन और श्री मुरलीधर राव के साथ बातचीत करने में। धन्यवाद। Okay, good evening, friends.
Good evening.
It gives me great pleasure to invite our panelist, Dr. Ramesh Rajagopalan and Mr. Muralidhar Rao. And we are going to talk about the most excited topic, that is data science. Everyone is talking about careers in data science. And it has become the big, opportunity for the students and the candidates who are aspiring for making their career in data science. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about the particular program that will help you to make your career, rather I would say make your global career in data science. So let me start with the question directly to Dr. Ramesh Rajagopalan. And the question for you, first of all, welcome sir on the coffee table today. In fact, Mr. Rao, you are also welcomed on coffee table discussion today. So the first question for Dr. Ramesh Rajagopalan for you: why one should opt online MS program from Southern Methodist University, that is SMU?
Well, I'm glad to be part of this discussion here. Thank you, Makaran, for inviting me here. It's a pleasure to talk to the students and the aspiring learners. And you ask about why should one opt for an MS program, specifically MS program from SMU. I would probably start with
excuse me. I'm sorry to interrupt you here, but before you actually start on this, let me build that context. Students, there are normally two types of programs which are available, offline and online. Okay, at the same point of time, there are various universities who are offering master's program or a bachelor's program in data science right here in India as well as abroad. So Dr. Ramesh Rajagopalan is coming from the USA perspective, and he is going to talk more about one of the particular university, that is Southern Methodist University, who is offering online as well as offline master's program in data science. But in today's program, today's discussion, we are going to cover the online master's program in data science for them who do not want to leave country or who are currently working in somewhere in a IT organizations or maybe other organizations, and they do not want to quit their job, but at the same point of time, they want to upgrade themselves. Without leaving India, they want to earn an international degree which can help them to achieve global career and the opportunities available for them globally. So in this context, the question which I ask Dr. Ramesh is, why one should opt online masters in data science program from Southern Methodist University?
Okay, great. I think a lot of what you said there, Makaran, I think you may have given them a clue of what the answers, and the answers I'm about to give you. One, I think it is, it's a program that's a full-fledged Master of Science program. You actually get a Master of Science degree. Absolutely the same curriculum that you would go through, even if you are attending in person offline. There is absolutely no difference. And this MSDS program from SMU has been a well-established program. It's been running very successfully, 4 cohorts a year for the last 5 years. So there is a huge group of alumni that come out of the program and have been very successful in their careers. It's currently ranked number 4 best programs on online MSDS. And it is also one of the most cost-effective programs, particularly amongst those top 5 programs that is ranked together with SMU. And finally, there is no requirement of you to go through the rigors of taking GRE and GMAT. Both GMAT, GRE, and any other similar requirements are waived as part of the admission to this program, right? So this globally, so those are some of the facts. And then why do you want to go and get a degree in data science? You know, a globally recognized, acclaimed Master of Science degree in the space of data science and business analytics is bound to significantly impact and enhance your career potential, not only in the geography where you are, but globally. Why? Because this is a global program recognized across the globe. And even you go through the rigors of applying to universities abroad, particularly in the US, and go through all the complications of getting a visa, traveling during this pandemic times, and so on. I have a surprise for you. When you actually land up here and start enrolling in courses and take courses, you may find yourself locked up in a dorm room to take classes. A lot of courses are still delivered online. So as such, this program we are bringing this program to your doorstep. We don't have to go through all those, you know, what should I say? I repeat, complications of going through the whole process of visa, travel, and expenses, and so on. Instead, a globally acclaimed program is in your fingertips. It's at your doorstep. So those are some of the reasons I would strongly encourage you to opt for this type of program, particularly this program, Master of Science from SMU.
Quite interesting, Dr. Ramesh. So, you know, the facts which you have shared, very interesting facts. These facts are actually leading to the another important aspects to understand that what is the importance of MS program and the curriculum, and how this program and the curriculum will enhance the value of your profile.
Yeah, so curriculum, you know, if you really define what curriculum is nothing but all the courses and the how the program is structured from start to finish, and what are some of the key outcomes you get. You know, that's the curriculum that we all, you know, I've been a faculty and I continue to be a faculty in many in several different ways. And you know, the curriculum design, the key is to give you the best of education through classroom, education through hands-on learning, and education through clinical experience of working in industry and solving real problems and so on. That really is a curriculum. So why is it important? It is important because that makes you who you are in the professional world. When you come out of a program like this, which is rich in giving you that exposure of solving real world data science and analytics problems by interacting with the faculty members who have that very, very rich blend of industry and academic experience, who have been thought leaders in their own ways in their industries, who also have PhD degrees from some of the top universities. When you interact with them and learn from them, the impact of that is it's really significant, right? And so that's why the curriculum is important. Now, this program, this Master of Science program, again, let me reiterate, this is a Master of Science degree that you would get from Southern Methodist University. This is not an extension program. This is not coming from some professional development arm of the university, sort of diluted to a 6-month or a it's 8-month and so on. It is a full-fledged Master of Science degree program. This is not a postgraduate diploma. This is not a postgraduate program. It's not any of those. So you are you are receiving a degree from this university. So it's very important, right? So it's very important to make the distinction. When you apply for jobs, this makes a huge difference. A Master of Science degree from a globally recognized university. It really takes you right up to the top of the shortlist, right? And what else? What else can I say about this program? You know, this program, it is it's in a different league compared to any program that you may see in typical, you know, in promotions and other means of gathering your information. You would see so much of noise out there, whereas this one is very clear, distinct, that it is a Master of Science degree from an international program with a globally reputed university, and the learning, the tools, techniques, and the methods, and so on, is imparted to you by a leading experts in the field of data science who have that blend of both university and industry experience, right? So that's how it's going to enhance your value, your positioning, and your opportunities in the marketplace.
Student, this is really very, very important aspect one should understand before taking admission in any program in international university. It is normally misunderstood that any program post your bachelor's degree is considered as a master degree program. It's not like that. So you have to understand the distinction between graduate certificate program, postgraduate diploma program, master degree program, or master's in science. What is a full-time degree? This distinction you have to understand. And
one Makaran, just maybe, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, sure.
One litmus test I would ask everyone to just kind of go through when they are evaluating these kinds of programs is, when I complete this degree, when I actually graduate from this program, will I be able to apply to a PhD program at any university across the globe? Ask them the simple question. If the answer is yes, by all means, consider that. Most likely, 98% of these programs that is in your inbox every single day don't qualify for that. So what did that mean? It means that you are not really getting a full-fledged Master of Science degree. Whereas this program, when you graduate, you can not only opt to go and work in some of the best companies across the globe, you have that potential, you have the opportunity opening up, but if you choose to go and do a PhD degree at any university across the globe, you're eligible. because now you have a Master of Science degree, right? So that's a big litmus test that I would like for everyone to sort of sift through these kinds of things. Helps you to make the right kind of decisions.
So it's really very important. And इसलिए मिस्टर मुरलीधर राव, मैं आपसे एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ. जब भी मैं किसी ग्रेजुएट स्टूडेंट्स या जो भी आईटी प्रोफेशनल्स है इंडिया में, जो अभी कहीं पर किसी कंपनी में काम कर रहे हैं, और जब मैं उनके साथ बात करता हूँ इसी तरह के ऑनलाइन प्रोग्राम के बारे में, तो उनका एक छोटा सा सवाल होता है, क्या ये प्रोग्राम एक फुल टाइम प्रोग्राम जितना ही वैलिड होता है क्या? Means whether it is been considered as a right degree compared to the offline classes. तो इसके बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहते हैं?
देखिए, जहाँ तक एजुकेशन की बात है, और अभी डॉक्टर रमेश राजगोपालन ने भी बताया क्या फर्क होता है, डिफरेंस क्या होता है एमएस डिग्री में और बाकी चीजों में, ये ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. क्योंकि जब हमें पहले ये देखना चाहिए कि जो एम्प्लॉयर होते हैं वो कैसे रिक्रूट करते हैं. हर एम्प्लॉयर के पास एक वो मैट्रिक्स होता है कि टाइप ए इंस्टीट्यूट, टाइप बी इंस्टीट्यूट, टाइप सी. तो एसएमयू जैसे इंस्टीट्यूट जो आते हैं वो बिल्कुल टाइप ए में आते हैं, क्योंकि वो इंटरनेशनल है, वो फुल फ्लेज डिग्री है. तो पहला सवाल ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि ऑफलाइन है ऑनलाइन है. ये देखिए, पैंडेमिक में जैसे डॉक्टर रमेश राजगोपालन ने बताया, आजकल तो हर यूनिवर्सिटी, हर इंटरनेशनल हो, इंडियन हो, दे आर ऑल डूइंग मिक्सचर ऑफ ऑनलाइन एंड ऑफलाइन. सो दिस इज नो डिफरेंट फ्रॉम दैट. देयर विल बी अ लॉट ऑफ काफी लोकल फैकल्टी आपको पढ़ाएगी, और वहां से लोग जो एक्सपर्ट हैं वो वहां से वर्चुअल क्लासरूम करेंगे, और आपका प्रोजेक्ट जो होगा वो रियल लाइफ प्रोजेक्ट होगा विद इंडियन कंपनीज. सबसे जो इंपॉर्टेंट चीज जो रिक्रूटर्स देखते हैं आज, वो देखते हैं कि आपका कॉन्फिडेंस क्या है और आपने कोई प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व किया है क्या. सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट हुआ है. देखिए, आप जब आप खोलेंगे किसी का ब्रोशर, तो सब में पाइथन दिखेगा, सब में प्रेडिक्टिव मॉडलिंग दिखेगा, सब में टाइम सीरीज फोरकास्टिंग. तो मतलब टॉपिक्स इज नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट. जैसे जब हम छोटे थे तो मैथ्स सभी पढ़ाते थे मैथ्स, लेकिन कुछ टीचर्स ऐसे थे वो ही टेक्स्ट बुक लेके, वो ही लेके इतना अच्छी तरह पढ़ाते थे ताकि हमें समझ में आता था वो, और इंटरेस्ट जाग उठता था. जो डॉक्टर रमेश राजगोपालन ने एक बात की जो एसएमयू के बारे में, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. जो फैकल्टी वहां पे है, दे आर पीपल हु हैव आल्सो वर्कड इन बिग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस एंड हैव सॉल्व्ड रियल वर्ल्ड प्रॉब्लम्स. नाउ व्हाट somebody enrolling for this program will do is, number one, वो उनको इनपुट मिलेगा एसएमयू फैकल्टी से डायरेक्टली, उनको मेंटरिंग मिलेगा इंडियन पार्टनर जो है हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट, उनसे मेंटरिंग मिलेगा, और हम सबसे टीम प्रोजेक्ट्स करवाएंगे. जो एसएमयू दे रहा है उसके ऊपर हम टीम प्रोजेक्ट्स करवाएंगे, कंपनी में जाके वो सॉल्व करेंगे प्रॉब्लम. अब जब इंटरव्यू होगा, most of the questions which an interviewer will ask will not ask how much of Python you know, how much of predictive modeling you know, because that is textbook knowledge. They will ask, have you solved a problem? And everywhere, the most important, I've been an interviewer, I've been on interview panels, I still am. You all want to ask, what have you learned? Have you applied somewhere? I want to see evidence of that. तो सबसे बड़ी चीज ये होगी कि जब इनपुट मिला आपको, मेंटरिंग मिला लोकली, क्योंकि कई बार I have been experienced in bringing an international university to India, and we used to give students a lot of local support because accent is different, this thing is different, timings are different, the style is different. And so that's the second thing. The third thing is real world analytics challenge projects, which will give you confidence. So what do you have when you face an interview? You have degree from 4th rank US university. All of us know, हम सब जानते हैं कि इस एरिया में, स्पेशली आईटी में, बिजनेस एनालिटिक्स में, डेटा साइंस में, यूएस इज नंबर 1 in the world in terms of the amount of work they have done. They have been pioneering in this. So वहां के जो practitioners हैं, वो उनसे हम लेते हैं ये इनपुट्स, और उनके मेंटरशिप में अगर हम अपना प्रोजेक्ट्स करते हैं, तो जो कंपनी आती है प्लेसमेंट के लिए, उनके लिए ये बहुत अच्छा कॉम्बिनेशन. तो ये 3 चीजें लेके अगर आप चलेंगे तो आपके लिए इसीलिए ये फायदेमंद है बहुत. इट इज अ वेरी 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 बिग बेनिफिट. Now, I'll just answer that question about offline, online. It is not either offline or online. It is blended learning. Everywhere in the world, last 2-3 years, blended learning has become a very important part, where you pick up experts who are in different parts of the world. They give you inputs. You have local faculty who helps you drill and practice, build up your skill. They help you take interviews. They give you mock tests, right, for your job interviews. And then you do your project, which will be done under the mentorship of faculty. All these things are done in a manner that makes it easy. And you don't have to, जैसे डॉक्टर रमेश ने बताया, आपको फिर जॉब कर रहे हैं अभी आप, Makarand, you asked a question about people who are in IT or who are engineers who are working in IT. You can't afford to leave your jobs.
Absolutely.
Some of you have family responsibilities, social responsibilities. You can't leave your job just like that after having started to work. This is a ideal solution for you. You don't have to step out. जैसे उन्होंने बताया, डॉक्टर रमेश राजगोपालन ने बताया, आपके डोर स्टेप पे आ रहे हैं. एक फुल फ्लेज्ड इंटरनेशनल MS डिग्री आपके डोर स्टेप पे आ रही है. Yeah. And that is what I hope मैंने आपका प्रश्न क्वेश्चन का आंसर दिया.
आपने सही में बहुत अच्छा उत्तर दिया. और कभी कभी क्या होता है कि लोगों के पास प्रोग्राम के रिलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं होती है. So most of the time they are relying on the most democratic source of information, that is Google. Now whatever is available on Google is not certified, it's not validated. Okay, so someone's opinion is actually making your life, which is very deadly, right? So this is very, very important question you answered. But it also leads to the one more important questions for Dr. Ramesh. Now, keeping this in mind, that the student or the aspiring learner can also pursue for online MSDS program without leaving country, without leaving the job and all. But if someone wants to enroll himself or herself in a particular program with SMU, okay, could you just give brief answer that what are the 5 important reasons they should consider while selecting this program on, or rather I would say online MSDS program with SMU?
Yeah, no, I think a lot of it is being answered between you and Murli and what I answered earlier. I think just to re-emphasizing some of those things, right? So
yeah,
it certainly is number one. Yeah, MSDS, data science as a field is a one of the hottest areas today. And it's not a fad, it's not a short-term trend. It is a fundamental shift that's happening in the industry. No matter what company you run, it could be a mining company, it could be a steel making company, it could be a retail company, it could be an automotive company, OEM, or component manufacturers. It doesn't matter. All of them are using or need to use data as their strategic weapon. It is one of the pillars. I think in our previous episodes, we touched upon this.
Yes.
Data becomes one of the pillars. It's a strategy. Data and analytics as a strategy for the company. It's a competitive strategy. Given that, a degree in data science, no matter where you get it from, it's going to enhance your career. It's a requirement. It is a needed field. Number one. So second, the same degree from a reputed, globally known, acclaimed university sitting at your home. In other words, the education is at your doorstep, in your fingertips. That's a number two. It's an offer that it's very hard to refuse. Now, if you're a working professional, as Muralidhar Rao mentioned earlier, you have commitments. And more importantly, not only commitments, you may actually have scenarios in your workplace, in your job function, where your boss is kind of driving you to find some insights, find some quantitative insights to add value to the business. And so you are under pressure to do those things, right? So that forces you to also go seek a way to acquire knowledge in this space. And without having to leave your job, you can gain the degree and get the clinical experience as well, and add value to the company and show the value, right? And you can do all of that with a cost-effective way. The same degree, if you have to go out and seek a master's degree, it's going to cost you at least 2 times more, $60,000, $70,000 at least. So that's a fourth one. And a fifth one, I would also say, I've been one of those who had the fortune of being in the industry for 25 years, companies like IBM and Deloitte and Dell, and also being a faculty member at some very highly reputed private universities and public universities like University of Texas, Austin, McCombs School of Business. I've ran a program in business analytics, a Master of Science program in business analytics, and I work closely with the Master of Science in Data Science at SMU. I interact with the program directors and the provosts and so on regularly. Now, given all that, one thing I can tell you, there is a trend that's happening in you could call it education capital of the world, that is United States. And the trend is the trend is the education, especially in the business education, is shifting away from what used to be the MBA, be all end all MBA, to a quicker, faster ROI based Master of Science in these specific fields. In the university that I've been serving, UT Austin, there's a business school, there's a Master of Science in Finance, Master of Science in Business Analytics, Master of Science in Marketing, Master of Science in Information Technology. And the trend, and programs keep going up, number of programs keep going up. Now, if you get the message that's kind of hidden here is even business schools are training people, with the more intense 1-year type program calling Master of Science, because the need of the industry is now, it's immediate. In order to address that, you bring the students through these rigorous programs, give them a better ROI, and they get into the workforce, particularly workforce that is demanding talent in data science and analytics. So that's your number 5 reason. The trend is shifting more and more towards programs like this, away from MBAs and so on, right? So these are some of the reasons I would cite, Makaran.
So, Mr. Muralidhar, I have one question for you. जब हम बात करते हैं करियर की, and particularly career in data science, तो भारत के परिप्रेक्ष्य में अगर हम देखें, तो अगर कोई स्टूडेंट या कोई इंजीनियर या वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल, हम जिस मास्टर डिग्री की बात कर रहे हैं, मास्टर्स इन डेटा साइंस फ्रॉम a particular university, that is Southern Methodist University, अगर इस प्रोग्राम से जो भारत के अंदर काम कर रहे हैं उनके लिए क्या अपॉर्चुनिटीज हो सकती है? क्या भारत में डेटा साइंस ग्रेजुएट्स की उतनी ही डिमांड है जितनी शायद एक अंतरराष्ट्रीय बाजार में होती है?
जी, अच्छा सवाल है और जवाब भी बहुत सीधा है। सिंपल जवाब ये है कि हाँ, कई बार तो इंडिया में ज्यादा डिमांड है आजकल इन चीजों के लिए, और मैं समझाता हूँ क्यों। अभी कुछ मिनट पहले ये बात हो रही थी कि जो कंपनियां हैं जो अभी कोविड-19 के दौरान तहत काफी कंपनीज डिजिटल इनिशिएटिव्स में काफी मतलब आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, और ये ट्रेंड वर्ल्ड वाइड भी है और इंडिया में भी है काफी। तो इंडियन कंपनीज भी काफी अपने आप को डिजिटल इसमें प्लेटफॉर्म पे ले जाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। तो उससे 2-3 इम्पैक्ट होता है। पहला इम्पैक्ट ये होता है कि आईटी पे देखते हैं सबसे पहले, ठीक है। जो आईटी कंपनीज है, आपने देखा होगा कि पिछले 2-3 साल से उनके रिजल्ट्स में वो डिक्लेयर कर रहे हैं कि कितना परसेंटेज उनका रेवेन्यू डिजिटल कंसल्टिंग से आ रहा है। और आपने देखा होगा कि 5% से शुरू हुआ तो अभी इट्स नियरली अराउंड 40% एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. So it is going very, very fast because IT companies, their clients are telling them, please हमें डिजिटल स्किल वाले प्रोजेक्ट्स करने हैं। तो जो कन्वेंशनल कोडिंग है, टेस्टिंग है, वो सारे रोल्स दे आर बिकमिंग रिडंडेंट। तो एक तरफ से अपॉर्चुनिटी है, दूसरे तरफ से थ्रेट भी है आईटी में। एक स्टडी में ये बताया गया कि 22 लाख यानी 2.2 मिलियन लोग अगले 5 साल में their roles are going to get redundant. IT इंडस्ट्री अलोन, इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स में पब्लिश्ड है ये। तो एक तरफ से ये थ्रेट है, दूसरी तरफ से अपॉर्चुनिटी है, क्योंकि कंपनीज आर गोइंग डिजिटल। So now what do I do if I'm an engineer? I'm working in IT. I have got a qualification, computer science or BTech or BE or in whatever field. I work for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Now I have to improve my employability. आपने पूछा करियर के बारे में, मैं बोलता हूँ एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी। ये सवाल पूछना चाहिए कि डू आई हैव स्किल्स दैट विल टेक मी ओवर द नेक्स्ट 10-15 years. That's how you build your career. You don't build your career by jumping from one company to the other all the time. You build your career by acquiring new skills. So this is a very, very important skill in India. भारत में अगर आप देखें, भारत की दृष्टि से भी जो कंपनीज हैं, they want a lot of these skills. Let's take one by one. So IT I have already mentioned, right? Now IT में एक और प्रॉब्लम ये आ रहा है कि attrition काफी है। पिछले 2-3 महीने में attrition has gone up significantly. It is in 20%, 30%, 40% in some cases. They're all struggling. All the big companies and medium-sized companies are struggling for talent. They're looking for talent in manufacturing companies. They're asking women who are out on a break to come back and join them as a flexi this thing. So there is a huge demand there right now. Yeah. There is no doubt as far as IT companies are concerned, and their growth is dependent on these skills. It is not a nice to have skill. It is a vital skill because their customers and the clients are asking for it. Second, in the recent past, you would have seen that there are so many startups that are coming. We all hear unicorns and, IPOs are coming and going. So you have to understand that there is something happening in the environment. Yeah, when you pick up a career or when you want to improve your career, when you want to look at your career, it's 20 years, 30 years, some case 30 years, some case 20 years, definitely more than 30 years in some cases. So you have to see what is happening in the environment around you. So the second significant thing that is happening is startups. There are so many startups coming in India. Because you asked me a question, आपने इंडिया के बारे में startup के बारे में कहा. Already India is number 3. Yeah, number 3, number 4 in the world in terms of startups. It will soon become number 2. That number is not important. Number 2, number 3, number 1 is not important. What is important is there is a growth. आप आज बोलते हैं, हम फिनटेक बोलते हैं, एडटेक बोलते हैं, प्रॉपर्टी टेक बोलते हैं, हेल्थ टेक बोलते हैं. Whichever way you see, manufacturing, manufacturing 4.0 we talk about. Yeah, we talk about D2C companies, direct to consumer companies. All these companies depend on talent for their platforms. They all depend on digital platforms for their business models. And digital platform chalane ke liye you need data scientists and business analysts in large numbers. And they are not support function. They are function which is directly impacting the top line and bottom line of companies. Look at airlines, right? Look at Indigo, look at any of these. They recruit in large numbers. In fact, some of the faculty members of SMU have worked in Southwestern and American Airlines and all. Revenue management is a very, very key. Revenue management and scheduling and cost, management are two very, very key aspects in an airline operation. And they now recruit in literally tens and hundreds, in India itself. I'm not talking about the world. So that is the second thing. IT, startups, and I'm telling you, startups will only boom and explode, and they depend on data scientists and business analysts for their core functions. The third is what Dr. Ramesh was talking about. Whether you're in marketing or in finance, right? In marketing today, people are talking about consumer behavior. Can you predict how many people will renew my insurance? How many out of 10 lakh insurance policies that are up for renewal, how many customers will renew? Can we talk only to those customers who are likely to renew? So these are real life issues. And now they're looking at machine learning. They're looking at skills like machine learning, artificial intelligence, sensor-based input data in manufacturing, and even in our car insurance is based on sensors in many cases. Your renewal premium depends on that. They started all that. So there is a huge demand. 1, 2, 3. All these three areas, people are saying, if in whatever finance function or marketing also, complete that part, आपको data analytics, business analytics का नॉलेज बहुत बहुत जरूरी है अगर आप अच्छा मार्केटिंग के वो बनना चाहते हैं या फाइनेंस का बनना चाहते हैं या मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एक मैनेजर भी बनना चाहते हैं.
सो अगर आपने जिस तरह से बताया कि हर क्षेत्र में राइट फ्रॉम आईटी टू मैन्युफैक्चरिंग टू द कोर इंडस्ट्री और यू कैन से द फाइनेंस इंडस्ट्री देयर इज अ ह्यूज डिमांड. So it's clearly seems that a lot of people, and the trend is also very encouraging, that a lot of students who are currently studying in college or who have just passed out, they are looking for making their career in the space of data science.
Correct.
तो मुझे आपसे ये जानना है कि अक्सर मेरे पास कुछ ऐसे स्टूडेंट आते हैं जो इंजीनियरिंग बैकग्राउंड के हैं, कुछ स्टूडेंट ऐसे हैं जो नॉन इंजीनियरिंग बैकग्राउंड के हैं, but they are still interested to make career in this particular space. हो सकता है शायद उन लोगों ने इस इमर्जिंग ट्रेंड को भाप लिया है कि आने वाले समय में, आने वाले 10 साल, 20 साल, 30 साल के करियर में डेटा साइंस इज गोइंग, दैट पर्टिकुलर स्किल इज गोइंग टू डोमिनेट द इंडस्ट्री, नो मैटर विच एवर कंट्री और विच एवर इंडस्ट्री इट वुड बी. तो इसके लिए अगर किसी को मास्टर्स इन डेटा साइंस प्रोग्राम में एनरोल करना है तो उसके लिए कम से कम एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया क्या होते हैं?
देखिए, ये जब ये सारा शुरू हुआ था, हम इसको डेमोक्रेटाइजेशन बोलते हैं. हम जैसे कुछ भी चीज देखिए, अगर आज हम फोटोग्राफ लेते हैं, किसी जमाने में फोटोग्राफ्स यूज्ड टू बी टेकन बाय स्पेशलिस्ट फोटोग्राफर्स बिकॉज इक्विपमेंट वाज एक्सपेंसिव, एवरीथिंग वाज एक्सपेंसिव. So there is a lot of that happening in all the professions. So even in terms of data science itself, the earlier on, it's not something new. There were very few people who are either in operations research, and Dr. Ramesh Rajgopalan is better qualified to talk about that, because he has worked in that environment. So early years, they were called OR people, operations research, or different names, people, optimization, using optimization techniques, different labels were used, but they were very small set of people because data was not available. It was not cheap at that point in time. Technology was not available for them to use that data. So what has happened is 2-3 things have happened. One is that data has become plentiful because it is it's easier to capture thanks to electronics and this thing, telecom and these things, IoT and other related technologies. Second, there is now software which has come, which helps a data scientist to use different models to understand the behavior of customer or to do optimization and to do to predict how many people will revive the policy. So it is applicable across. You have a large volume of data, you have nice software to use it. Yeah. Now comes the skill of people, right? So the way, it's not about programming firstly. Yeah. Nowadays, in fact, it's you want to use algorithms, you want to use many things. You don't need to be a programmer for that, right? That's the first myth that a lot of people have. कि मुझे क्या प्रोग्रामिंग सीखना पड़ेगा? जवाब ये है कि नहीं. लेकिन आपकी एलिजिबिलिटी इतनी है you should be interested in numbers and this thing, that. So you don't have to be a programmer. You don't have to be necessarily from engineering background. Lot of very, very good people who are doing research in social sciences, right? In health policy, education policy, or transportation policy, energy policy, different sectors, agriculture. They are all people who don't have an engineering background, right? And they're doing some excellent work in this area. So, short answer, you don't have to be an engineer. It is something which is there for everybody. And I agree with you. People who want these kind of, to make an impact and want to do this kind of work in other non-engineering areas, उनको भी ये अब लग रहा है कि इसमें काफी स्कोप है, काफी अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं. तो जरूरी ये नहीं कि आप इंजीनियरिंग, नॉन इंजीनियर्स के लिए भी बहुत अच्छा फील्ड है.
That's really an interesting and encouraging news for the student who are aspiring to make their career in this particular area. So, Dr. Ramesh Rajgopalan, while selecting and applying for MSDS program in any university, and particularly again Southern Methodist University, which point should be evaluated? Which all point students should look for?
Okay. Well, I think there are a few things that, particularly in today's environment, as you said, the Google's become the primary source of information. So one has to carefully evaluate, what program they choose, because it's an important decision they are making about their own education, right, and their careers, and the long-term growth, and so on, right, and the contributions that they can make to their society in general and the companies that they go and work for, right? So given all these kinds of implications, so the evaluation becomes important. Now, what do you look for in a program? Well, one, how comprehensive that program is. Again, you earlier on, you asked about curriculum, and I just put that differently. The curriculum is, how comprehensive the courses, the number of courses. It's not something that was just, loosely assembled together and say, hey, here is a diploma program we are offering. It may be very, very short-term focused, right? You may not actually gain much from that. So look at the curriculum, and curriculum that can stand the strength of a full-fledged master's degree, right? Why not go get that master's degree? That's one thing. Look at those courses and offering, and even courses. Look at what is the strength of this program in terms of connecting me with opportunities to solve real problems. With SMU program, for example, I'll tell you, you will see courses called a course called Doing Data Science. It's a course. It's a 3-credit course out of 15 or 16 courses in the overall program. So doing data science. So they have taken immense care, utmost care, to design these things into the coursework. And then there are, of course, 2 sequence courses with a real world practical challenge, capstone type experience. But doing data science teaches you how to deal with the various methods of machine learning, the concepts behind it, and what is the current practice in the industry, and how do you, and industry, and also in the field of data science, and how do you solve problems using all these methods, and get your hands wet and dirty, and go deep into it and solve problems, right? So that's doing data science. So look for those kinds of things in the curriculum. And of course, if you do that, automatically, they're going to be ranked high. So look for the ranking for the programs, right? And it's almost like a effect of doing everything right. When they offer courses, the ones who do it right automatically come up on top of the ranking. I have my own experience in doing so, right? and look at the faculty profile. You know, look at them, see if they are 100% academic, career academic professionals, or they are just fresh out of, they are new, newly minted managers in a company who is just trying to come and do a teaching within a program. No knock on them, but their blend of academic rigor and the industry knowledge may be lacking. So look for those kind of profiles where you have industry leaders who are teaching it, who also have the academic rigor and who have formal degrees, PhDs, and so on. There's a reason why I went and got my PhD, because I wanted to be recognized as a deep subject matter expert, right? So those are the kinds of things you look for. And of course, the reputation of the institute, reputation of the program, and make sure you compare that with the ones that are similarly positioned, right? Don't compare a 6-month certificate diploma program with a Master of Science degree. These are some evaluation criteria that one has to have. And if you do a careful evaluation of these kinds of factors, you will come out looking a winner. You will be a winner. And in doing all this, certainly, the ones that are following us in these discussions and so on, please reach out to us. We can help you. We have counselors who can actually walk you through the details of these criteria. We can help you with that. And you can reach out to yourself, Makaran. You are a seasoned, experienced professional in this field. You can reach out to Muralidhar Rao, who has significant experience, not only in the programs, but actually managing and running these kinds of programs, right, over the years. So reach out to us and we can help you more with these, evaluating these kinds of programs. And I certainly think the MSDS program from SMU is a program that you would not regret. It will significantly enhance your career. If you run through all these factors, it automatically comes up on top.
So thank you very much, Dr. Ramesh, for inviting students to come up and talk to you. दोस्तों, ये बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है. अक्सर हम ये सोचते हैं कि हमें किसी न किसी प्रोग्राम में एक इंटरनेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी में हमें एडमिशन लेना है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली इंडिया में कई सारे लोग ऐसे होते हैं जिनको, जैसे शुरुआत में बताया था, ग्रेजुएट सर्टिफिकेट प्रोग्राम या पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट प्रोग्राम या मास्टर्स प्रोग्राम या एमएस प्रोग्राम, इसमें कोई फर्क नहीं पता चलता है. और अक्सर बहुत ही अच्छे टैलेंटेड स्टूडेंट्स गलत प्रोग्राम में एडमिशन ले लेते हैं. तो ये बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है और इस अपॉर्चुनिटी में मैं आपके साथ हूं. और अगर आपको कुछ जानना है, आपको प्रोग्राम के बारे में जानना है, आपको प्रोग्राम को इवेल्युएट करना है, हो सकता है आपके कई सारे सवाल ऐसे हो जिसका जवाब शायद इस वीडियो में भी ना मिले. तो ये सभी सवालों के जवाब के लिए मैं आपको या तो मिस्टर मुरलीधर राव, जो हमारे यहाँ इंडिया में अवेलेबल है, और डॉक्टर रमेश राजगोपालन, हु इज इन यूएस, ये हम आपको उनके साथ कनेक्ट करवा सकते हैं. तो कभी भी अगर प्रोग्राम रिलेटेड कोई भी बात है, कोई भी शंका है, ठीक है, तो आप हमसे बात कर सकते हैं. तो इसी के साथ मिस्टर मुरलीधर राव, एक और सवाल दिमाग में अक्सर आता है कि आजकल हर जगह पे कंपटीशन है, हर जगह पे हर चीज को एक डुप्लीकेट किया जाता है. यानी अगर मार्केट में एक मोबाइल का डिजाइन चल रहा है तो उसको इमीडिएटली डुप्लीकेट होता है. और यही प्रिसाइसली कभी कभी एजुकेशन में भी देखा जाता है. और इसीलिए एक एजुकेशन which is considered to be one of the most pious activity in someone's life, because it's making life of someone, उसको एक इंडस्ट्री के तौर पर देखा जाता है. Industry, education is not an industry, it's a cause, it's a social work, right? It has a very philanthropic I would say intent कि हम जनरेशन को नर्चर करना है. तो ये सभी सिचुएशन में अक्सर देखा जाता है कि आज अगर डेटा साइंस एक अपकमिंग ब्रांच है, अपकमिंग स्ट्रीम है, ठीक है, उसको बहुत सारे अचानक से बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूशंस और यूनिवर्सिटी प्रोग्राम को ऑफर करना शुरू कर देते हैं। तो अगर मैं एक सीधा सवाल है कि इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूशंस के अंदर जो एमएसडीएस प्रोग्राम ऑफर किया जाता है उसकी कंपैरिजन में सदर्न मेथोडिस्ट यूनिवर्सिटी का ये जो मास्टर्स इन एमएसडीएस है, मास्टर्स इन डेटा साइंस प्रोग्राम है, हाउ इट इज डिफरेंट? दिस इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट for our students and viewers to understand.
Good. So I will make a distinction between मैं simple आप बिल्कुल सही बोले आप कि हर कोई शुरू कर रहा है ये प्रोग्राम, तो इसमें कैसे पता करें कि कौन सा प्रोग्राम अच्छा है, कौन सा सच्चा है और कौन सा ऐसा है जो सिर्फ नाम डाल के आगे बढ़ने वाली बात है। तो हम कैसे उसको इवैल्यूएट करें? देखिए, एक होता है सिर्फ ई लर्निंग का, जिसमें सिर्फ नॉलेज मिलता है आपको। तो ये जो अलग अलग टाइप के प्रोग्राम है, अलग अलग टाइप के लोगों के लिए है। अगर आपको सिर्फ कुछ नॉलेज चाहिए, घर बैठे नॉलेज चाहिए, तो आपने कर लिया, कोर्सेरा का कुछ कर लिया, वो सब ठीक है। तो वो उसमें आपका करियर का कोई वो नहीं होता, ताल्लुक नहीं होता, क्योंकि वो आप सिर्फ सेल्फ नॉलेज के लिए करते हैं। कोई वो आप दिखाएंगे कि मैंने कोर्सेरा का किया है, तो कोई आपको वेटेज नहीं देगा उसको अपने इंटरव्यू में, आपको एडिशनल सैलरी नहीं मिलेगी उसके बेसिस। दूसरा होता है कि ये जो इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, अच्छे अच्छे इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं काफी, उनके प्रोग्राम में एक ये प्रॉब्लम है कि वो पूरे डिग्री नहीं है। पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट प्रोग्राम जब भी आप देखते हैं, ये सारे डिप्लोमा प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं, इनमें कोई खामी नहीं है, सिर्फ ये है कि आपको वो शॉर्ट टर्म मिलेगा, शॉर्ट टर्म बेनिफिट मिलेगा आपको। यदि आप ये पूरा कॉफी टेबल एपिसोड में हम करियर के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, करियर के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, तो करियर में हम इन्वेस्ट करते हैं। जब भी करियर के बारे में बात करते हैं तो इन्वेस्टमेंट की बात आती है, खर्चे की बात नहीं आती है, तो इन्वेस्टमेंट की बात आती है। तो कहाँ इन्वेस्ट करेंगे हम? इन्वेस्ट ऐसी जगह करेंगे कि अगर हमने आज किया, आज से शुरू किया और 20 महीने में एसएमयू का प्रोग्राम खत्म किया, तो ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए कि अगले 5 साल में दोबारा हमें और कुछ करना पड़े इसी में। एक बार मैंने एमएस डिग्री किया है, तो मुझे 15-20 साल उसका इम्पैक्ट होना चाहिए। टॉपअप में भरे करता रहूं। अगर एक मुझे चेंज चाहिए, मैं और कोई इसमें करियर में हूं और मैं शिफ्ट करना चाहता हूं डेटा साइंस, तो आपके एम्प्लॉयर जो हैं वो देखेंगे कि क्या वैल्यू है आपके क्वालिफिकेशन। तो पीजी प्रोग्राम अगर आप करते हैं, सब रिलेटिव है, सब कंपैरिजन है। तो सबके पास एक वो होता है, मैट्रिक्स होता है कि भाई यहाँ से अगर करता है तो मैं यहाँ पे ये सैलरी पे दूंगा, ये बेनिफिट्स दूंगा, अगर यहाँ से करता है तो ये सैलरी पे दूंगा, ये बेनिफिट्स दूंगा। सो एवरी कंपनी हैज अ मैट्रिक्स फॉर रिक्रूटमेंट. In that recruitment matrix across the world, the MS degree in this will be at the top. Okay, only the shades vary from which university, what kind of MS degree, and obviously US is at the top, right? So the top few US universities, and SMU is one of them, for this will always command a premium over others. It doesn't mean the others are bad or good. It's just that in this area, in this domain, very clearly the Dr. Ramesh Rajgopalan ने भी बताया कि रैंकिंग कैसे होता है। अगर सही काम करते हैं इंस्टीट्यूशन, सही करिकुलम उनका अच्छा होता है, उनकी प्रैक्टिकल होता है, रियल लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस दिलाते हैं, कॉन्फिडेंस दिलाते हैं, और जाके जो शुरू कर लेता है काम, अपना एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी अच्छी होती है, स्किल्स उनकी अच्छी होती है, तो द इंडस्ट्री विल वेलकम सच पीपल. SMU is designed with that basics in mind. So the Indian institutes and this, the basic difference is the qualification. I don't want to go into the policy issues and all, why they need to do it. There are some constraints with the national education policy. Those constraints are getting removed, but it will take time for them to come up with degree programs in this. Yeah. So there is no comparison that way in terms of if you want to invest in a career, you need to make a good investment so that you get returns over a period of time. ऐसे लोगों के लिए और ऐसे करियर माइंडेड लोगों के लिए इस तरह के ऑप्शंस बड़े अच्छे होते हैं। या तो ये करो आप, या फुल टाइम जाके वहां यूएस में जाके करो, जैसे डॉक्टर रमेश राजगोपालन ने बताया, फर्क ये है कि वहां आप $75,000 आपके खर्च होंगे, ठीक है। और अगर आपने यहाँ से किया है, मैं भी पेरेंट हूँ, मैंने भी अपने चाइल्ड को भेजा है यूएस में करने के लिए, अगर ऐसा ऑप्शन होता तो मैं 2 बार सोचता, क्योंकि वो ये लेस देन हाफ प्राइस में मिलता है, $30,000 में मिल रहा है आप। सो उसके साथ कंपेयर करना चाहिए आप, कि जो वैल्यू जो मुझे मिल रहा है एमएस का, उसके उसके साथ कंपेयर करना चाहिए, देन इट इज अ लाइक टू लाइक कंपैरिजन, राइट? So I hope I have answered your question, connecting careers, long-term career with doing of MS degree, yeah, rather than a diploma program.
But again, there is one more important aspect. You just pointed out the price factor, or you can say the cost factor of, if someone is doing or earning that degree either in India or going abroad, and so there is one consideration, or you can say the comparison, that is a cost part of it. Okay, but when it comes to a job, career and a job, there is a lot of hype about the jobs in data science and business analytics in India. So can you be a little more specific in telling us about the kind of job opportunity that are available in India today in this particular field?
Okay, so I had answered that question slightly differently earlier, so I will just summarize, क्योंकि आपने ये पूछा था कि इंडिया स्पेसिफिक क्या है, तो ट्रेंड्स आर वेरी वेरी क्लियर. I'll answer very very quickly. Trends are very clear. There is a huge opportunity in India. Okay. Now, what are the opportunities? I spoke about Indian IT companies. I spoke about companies which are this thing, startups, and I spoke about the other companies. Now, I didn't speak about one set of companies. Lot of companies from the US and Europe are setting up their India centers. They're setting up the centers in India. They all require data scientists, and they all require this thing. So if you're from a good university, if you have got a good qualification, which they recognize, right? And if they're from the US, they will immediately recognize the value of a good quality US degree, right? It opens up opportunity even with those people. So there are huge centers being set up. You see Bangalore, you see Gurgaon, you see Bombay, Pune, you see Hyderabad, you see Chennai. Yeah, in the east also now slowly, Bhubaneswar, yeah, and all parts of the country. Yeah, you'll slowly see data centers being set up. The people requiring a lot of engineers, analysts, and data scientists in all this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the opportunities that are there for people who are doing a degree. Yeah.
लेकिन सर इसमें और एक चीज हमको समझने की जरूरत है कि ना सिर्फ भारत, ना सिर्फ इंडिया, लेकिन पूरा विश्व में कोविड पेंडेमिक की वजह से इंडस्ट्री सफर किया है.
करेक्ट,
राइट. हर इंडस्ट्री को अपना एक समय लगेगा वापस उतना स्ट्रेंथ को अर्न करने के लिए.
करेक्ट.
तो अगर हम इस परिप्रेक्ष्य में देखते हैं, तो क्या आने वाले 2 सालों के भीतर या 3 साल के भीतर क्या डेटा साइंटिस्ट की इतनी डिमांड जो एक्सपेक्टेड है हो सकती है, या ये सिर्फ बबल है?
नहीं, बबल नहीं है. इनफैक्ट द प्रॉब्लम इज अदर वे राउंड. प्रॉब्लम इज दैट लास्ट फ्यू इयर्स स्पेशली एक्सेलरेटेड बाय कोविड की वजह से कुछ ज्यादा वो देख रहे हैं हम लोग, मूवमेंट देख रहे हैं. ये हो रहा है कि जो टैलेंट चाहिए इंडस्ट्री को और जो मिल रहा है उसमें बहुत बड़ा फर्क है. क्वालिटी में भी फर्क है, क्वांटिटी में भी फर्क है. और ये आज से 3 साल 5 साल में खत्म नहीं होने वाला है, because the demand will keep increasing. It's not a static demand ki, there are 2 million, 1 million job today, so once it gets over, then there is no, it will keep increasing every year. Okay, that is point number 1. Point number 2, जो देखा जाता है, in education especially, there is a trend. Whenever things like this happen, whenever there is something like COVID or there is a slowdown in economy, experts say it is the best time to invest in education. Because then if you join a course today, in the next 18-20 months, if you are ready, by that time, aap bilkul sahi bol rahe hain. Not only in India, worldwide. I deliberately didn't talk about the world. I spoke only about India. But across the world also, the companies, as they recover from COVID, they will have a backlog of people whom they want to. Because they don't want to get back to pre-COVID level. They want to grow much beyond. So there is a backlog, and it is a right time from every aspect. There is a COVID, we are slowly coming out of COVID across the world, but still it will be at least normalcy is at least a year away. This is the best time to invest. And you get loans, you get, banks are willing to fund you, give you loans. Everybody has been asked to, public sector banks are willing to fund you, and you should make use of this opportunity. Work out your finances, make use of this opportunity. It's an excellent opportunity.
So, Dr. Ramesh, I have one final question for you. That I'm just taking away this thread from what Mr. Murli said. That a lot of European companies or the organizations, they are planning, or they have already started setting up the data centers in countries like India. So will there be any shift happen in a job market, particularly in this area, wherein the global jobs will shift to India?
Well, I think we have seen that happen in the IT industry, for the last 2 decades or more, right? So when there is technology-based jobs, when there is jobs that require quantitative skills, India obviously is a natural destination. It's a destination of choice for many global companies. I'll give you my own example. I was leading a marketing analytics team at Dell. I'm sitting here in Austin, Texas, in the world headquarters, but a lot of my extended team, almost 60 plus 70 quantitative modeling folks, analytics modeling, they were all Bangalore based. And with, Dell had a operation, still does, called Dell Global Analytics Group, which is primarily based in Bangalore, India. So you asked about job opportunities. Muralidhar Rao basically mentioned the domains, IT and so on. I'll give you specifics of companies. Dell is one of them that hires a lot of data scientists, business analytics folks with the hands-on experience. So, so to specifically answer your question, yes, it is not a new trend. It is already there. It's only going to get bigger. And the talent pool that's available in India and the educational opportunities like what we are presenting will make it even more stronger with the talent that is being nurtured in India itself. And one of my my company advisors and a longtime colleague and a faculty, he leads a analytics group within a large company called Walmart. And many of his analytics team, data scientists, supporting all the analytics work are based in India. He's got some of them are, data scientists in Bangalore, some of them are in Chennai and other parts of India. It's part of the Walmart labs. So your question was, is it going to happen? My answer is, it's already happening. And it's only going to get bigger.
Your every response is leading to one more question. So I'm sorry to ask you one more question. That when it comes to education in management, or I would say higher education in management, it's been observed that the most of the time European universities, they expect and they ask for minimum 2 years of experience, corporate experience, post bachelor's degree to get qualified for getting admission into the MBA kind of program or management program. So what is your take on that? The students who have passed out from engineering graduates, who have passed out from the university today, should they work first a minimum for 2 to 3 years in industry to understand the importance of the data science, or maybe say AI or some other things, before they actually enroll themselves into this program? Okay, now I'll give you the context why I'm asking you this question. It's been observed that most of the time student, whenever they pass out their graduation, soon after that they go abroad for higher studies. particularly in the space of computer science as a larger, the umbrella I'm talking about, okay, without having any exposure to the industry. On the other side, the online MSDS program offered by SMU is actually made for people who are working professionally. So there is a dilemma, in particularly in my mind, what to suggest. Should we suggest student to start working and acquiring experience in corporate sector before they join any program abroad, or maybe in the form of the online program?
Yeah, so good question. Good question. So let me answer. I think you had 2 or 3 questions in there. One is, should they work for 2 years before they take on a master's program or higher studies? I will share an experience from my being a director at Master of Science Business Analytics program at UT Austin. And I would say, if I think back the classes that we admit, the number of students we admitted, there's a very healthy mix of both. We in that program, I would be surprised if anyone came more than 3 years of experience. If I think back, maximum was about 3 years. And so about 50-50 mix, maybe 60-40 mix, more towards fresh graduates and people with 2 or 3 years experience. And all of them have done very well graduating from the program. And the hiring companies, it didn't seem like they chose one over the other. I think they found these graduates all coming out, going through this educational funnel called a master's program. When they come out of that, they all look the same because they acquired the knowledge. They acquired the ability to work with the companies to solve their problems. They acquired the theory and the concepts required to solve real problems. They were actually doing data science in the program, right? So when they came out, they all, we took efforts. In MSDS program, we take efforts too, to make sure all of them are set on the same platform before they start, and then they go through at the pace, and then when they come out, and of course, you are different than me, and I'm different than Muralidhar, and so on and so forth. Those individual differences are appreciated and recognized, but from a company standpoint, the talent, the need for that kind of a talent is so huge that all of them had opportunities, and the new graduates get hired with the best salary. The ones with 2 or 3 years experience may have gotten hired by the best company. It's a mix of all over the place. So that's one answer for you. I don't think in these programs it makes a big difference. But if you had an opportunity to work somewhere, fine. But it's not mandatory. Now, the second question you asked about was, this program is designed for working professionals. Remember, I mentioned this program was it's been offered for the last 5-6 years. So time when online and blended education was a sort of a new novel idea that highly suited for a certain class of aspiring learners, and that is, generally speaking, working professionals, because working professionals had limited time during the day. Either they quit job and go to full-time programs, or continue to stay in the job and work during their available hours during the day and weekends and so on. So it began like that. But today's technology in the last 2 years has accelerated so much that even the regular universities today have figured out that they can actually run courses, continue in this blended mode. They don't have to go to 100% in person. It's more effective, it's efficient, it's cost effective, outcome is even unmatched, right? So what we have gone through in the last 2 years, we were forced into this scenario, but we have learned as human beings, we all have learned to adapt. And in that process, the new innovations have come up. So this blended model is now become acceptable to everyone. It doesn't matter if you are working. So it may look like, if you look at all the alumni for MSDS, they're all in the working professional category. Yes, that is true. But I'm going to wager a bet here that that is changing. That is changed. Now it is available for anyone seeking higher education. In fact, I would say new graduates, this is an opportunity that you can jump on and get yourself acquire this master's degree, which is at your fingertips or at your doorstep. Take it, right? So what has happened over the years now, there's, in technology and so on, there is this word called convergence, right? So the needs and the technological advancements and the program designs, all of them are converging to any sort of learner, whether it's working professional, executives, new graduates, and so on. And everyone can take advantage of these kinds of opportunities today.
Awesome, Dr. Ramesh. So with this question, we have reached to the concluding part of the conversation. But still there is one important question left over for Dr. Muralidhar Rao. सवाल ये है कि अगर कोई student or a working professional who is interested to join this program, so tell us something about the bank loan which is available in case someone wants to procure bank loan facility, or the internship programs which are available for them, as well as the placement support facility post completion of program. ये कुछ ऐसे मुद्दे होते हैं कि जो एक स्टूडेंट को एनरोलमेंट या एडमिशन के लिए एक क्लोजिंग पॉइंट होता है, क्लोजिंग स्ट्रोक होता है, जिसमें आपके कुछ इनपुट्स बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट साबित हो सकते हैं.
No, again, a very good question, very real question. एक एक करके लेते हैं. एलिजिबिलिटी तो आप ग्रेजुएट हैं तो एलिजिबल हैं, और मैंने पहले ये बताया है कि ये जरूरी नहीं कि आप इंजीनियर हों. नॉन इंजीनियर्स भी कर सकते हैं इसको. उनके प्लेसमेंट के लिए अलग अलग अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, सेक्टर्स में हैं, और इवन इंडस्ट्री में काफी लोग लेते हैं. मार्केटिंग में काफी लोग, दे वांट पीपल विद नॉन दिस थिंग बैकग्राउंड, फॉर कंज्यूमर रिसर्च एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. सो दैट्स वन आंसर. यू नीड टू बी अ ग्रेजुएट. या ये दूसरा ये है कि उसके बाद क्या प्रोसेस होगा, क्या सपोर्ट होता है, और क्योंकि ये इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए फंडिंग बड़ा जरूरी होता है. तो मेरे एक्सपीरियंस में ये पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स हैं और कुछ प्राइवेट सेक्टर बैंक्स भी हैं जो लोन देते हैं. उसके लिए आपको ये करना पड़ता है कि पहले आपको अप्लाई करना पड़ता है. जैसे आपको लोन लेना है तो आपको प्रोविजनल एडमिशन दिखाना पड़ता है लोन लेने के लिए. यू हैव टू शो द प्रोविजनल admission from the university. So the first step is to apply. Yeah, and application, in fact, in case of SMU, since that is a context here, over the next few weeks, even the application fee the university is waiving off. So आपको कुछ investment करने की जरूरत नहीं. If you are interested, you just need to start the application process. अप्लाई होने के बाद वो दे गिव द डिसीजन fairly quickly, the admission panel of this thing of the university. तो वो लेटर लेके then you can go to any of the banks. मैं पब्लिक सेक्टर इसीलिए बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि उनके स्कीम्स बड़े स्ट्रक्चर्ड होते हैं और वो डिग्री को ज्यादा वो करते हैं. दे गिव मोर वेटेज टू डिग्री rather than diploma and others. And they have a standard thing for MS. They give loan which covers, and it covers even people going abroad. So this will be a smaller part of it. या तो पेपर्स देके वो सब करके देन यू गेट द लोन एंड देन यू द डिसबर्समेंट स्टार्ट्स ड्यूरिंग द कोर्स। आई एम जस्ट जो डॉक्टर रमेश ने भी बताया, एक इनपुट मिलता है डायरेक्टली एसएमयू के साथ, क्योंकि वो डिग्री भी वहीं से आता है, एसएमयू का ही आता है डिग्री पूरा, फुल फ्लेज डिग्री। दूसरा इनपुट मिलता है लोकल फैकल्टी के साथ। हमारे पार्टनर्स हैं, फैकल्टी पार्टनर्स है, बेंगलोर में है, मुंबई में है, दिल्ली में भी तो उनके फैकल्टी के साथ कुछ सेशंस होंगे और क्लैरिफिकेशन ट्यूटोरियल्स वगैरह करवाएंगे। और तीसरा ये है कि हमारा ये है कि ज्यादा लोग हमारे इसमें ज्यादा लोग नहीं चाहिए हम तो ये साल में 4 बार इनके शुरू होते हैं कोर्सेज। लेकिन हमें ऐसा नहीं कि कुछ 500-600 लोग नहीं लेते हम लोग। We have limited, so we want to have maybe 2 cohorts per time, right? एक टाइम में 2 कोहोर्ट चलाते हैं एक इसमें। तो उन लोगों के लिए सेट कनेक्ट जो है पार्टनर है एसएमयू का इंडिया में, तो सेट कनेक्ट की फैकल्टी है जो इंटरनेशनल कंपनी है ऑस्टिन टेक्सास बेस्ड, उनके फैकल्टी के मेंटरशिप के अंडर हम प्रोजेक्ट्स दिलवाएंगे उनको, लोकल इंडस्ट्री। दिस इज ओवर एंड अबव व्हाट एसएमयू। ठीक है, तो इसमें क्या होता है, हम बार बार प्रोजेक्ट क्यों बोल रहे हैं, क्योंकि कई बार क्या होता है, जैसे डॉक्टर रमेश राजगोपालन उनका एक्सपीरियंस है, मेरा भी एक्सपीरियंस है इसमें। तो क्या होता है कि अगर आपने अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट किया टीम में, इंटर्नशिप नहीं है, ये प्रोजेक्ट है, रियल लाइफ एनालिटिक्स चैलेंज प्रोजेक्ट, इट्स अ रियल प्रोजेक्ट, स्पॉन्सर होता है बिजनेस के साइड से, मेंटर होते हैं हमारी तरफ से, तो वो करते हैं। तो कई बार वो कंपनीज बोलती है आप आ जाइए, आपको हम प्लेसमेंट दे देते हैं। So it is like a second chance for placement. You are not only getting one chance, you're getting 2 chances. Then the companies that we tie up with, they will come and they will evaluate your this thing, candidature, and then they will take it, take it further from there. So we provide support right from after application, funding if you want help, to during the course, projects, placement, end-to-end help from our side, in addition to what Set Connect, in addition to what SMU would be providing.
So thank you very much, Mr. Muralidhar Rao, for your
one quick point, Makaran. This might be useful for the students and the learners.
Yes.
In this in the next 4 to 5 weeks, starting, if the application process and the admission process is very simple for this program, this MSDS program. And it's one of the fastest decisions that you would get from any US university, from the time of application to the time of decision from the admissions committee. It's very, very short. It's weeks, not like 9 months or 10 months with similar programs, some cases even a year. So here you get all that within weeks. It's a very simple process, very fast process. And that's number one. So the moment you apply, if you apply now, for the next 4 weeks, we have the ability to waive the application fees and so on, right? Wow. So these are some of the things that we have made available to the students. And so I would say take advantage of these things. And it's review all the things that were said by yourself and Mr. Muralidhar Rao. I think there's a great value to be extracted from programs like this, particularly in today's environment where the data science is a skill and knowledge base highly needed in the workplace. There are millions of jobs are waiting to be created. They're already available, waiting to be created. It's just not me saying, but there are studies like, in the US, Department of, or the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's a federal agency. It's published that in the next 4 years, there will be 12 million jobs available in space of data science and business analytics. right? That is global picture. And the rate at which the jobs are going to increase over the next 5-6 years is at about average of about 15% increase year over year. Compared to all the other areas of jobs, it's kind of like 4 to 5%. Whereas in data science, the rate of increase is just tremendous. So there are a lot of indicators. McKinsey has published numerous reports about the potential for data science professionals. So the short story there is significant talent gap, and the companies cannot have enough of data scientists and folks with business analytics knowledge. And we have first-hand experience talking to people like CTO of large IT organizations, and they said the demand far exceeds supply today in their client needs for people with the skills, right? So it's there, it's real, the opportunity is now. So this would be a start for aspiring learners. Decades ago, I did the same thing. In my case, I sought out degree and I came to the US and studied. And I wish programs like this was available at my own doorstep, right? So, but today it's available. Technology has made it possible. You can interact with people in Dallas, Texas, and Austin, Texas, and Boston, Massachusetts, and Singapore, and Bangalore, and Delhi, all at the same time. You can interact with the faculty members and get a very, very effective education, right? And you also get to have interactions with them in person. So it's a very optimal blend of opportunities and experiences. And so take advantage of this. I really appreciate you giving me this platform. And together with that, our leader, Muralidhar Rao, thank you, Murali, for sharing your wisdom.
Oh, my pleasure.
And Makaran, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks,
Makaran. My pleasure. And friends, opportunity is knocking the door. Okay, it's a time to take the action. With this note, thank you very much, Dr. Ramesh Rajagopalan and Muralidhar Rao, for sparing your valuable time, giving real insights without making it larger than large, and giving the real inputs to the aspiring learners, as well as students who are already passed out, and or probably who will be coming out of the colleges and university maybe 2 years later or 3 years later. I'm sure your inputs today will remain so important for them and will remain important forever. So thank you very much for being with me on this show. Thank you very much, and see you soon.